NMPC set to generate 422 billion naira in August 2022. FIRS certifies donations to charity has tax deductible, plus OPEC Plus versus output target by 2.9 million barrels per day in July as oil prices rise after Saudi says OPEC could cut output. This is Business Express on the network service of the NTA, and we are reaching you from Abuja, the nation's capital. I am Musa Abubakar. Well, we'll begin with tax matters. The Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, has certified corporate organizations' donations to former Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun's charity, Dashmi Foundation, as tax deductible. FIRS has consequently issued a tax deductible donations certificate to Dashmi Foundation. Dashmi, a Lagos-based charity with operations in Nigeria, the United States, and the United Kingdom, was founded by former Finance Minister Kemi Adeosun in June 2021. The Companies Income Tax Act permits companies which make charitable donations to charities with tax-deductible donations certificates to donation relief. The donation relief provision is aimed at encouraging corporate bodies in Nigeria to channel their corporate social responsibilities donations to carefully vetted non-governmental bodies, associations and institutions engaged in life-changing, socially relevant projects. Dashmi, in a statement, said corporate organizations that donate to it will now enjoy donation relief under its new status, which is allowance to deduct their donations from their taxable profits. Reacting to the development, the former Finance Minister Adeosun noted that the issuance of the certificate by the country's foremost tax body is a recognition of the charity's strides in the past year and its commitment to changing the lives of vulnerable Nigerians. Now, Nigeria and India are setting a new record using what they believe as genuine friendship for the two nations to realize opportunities in trade and investment for the mutual benefits of more than 1 billion people. Osman Aliu reports that the development succeeded in the establishment of a business council in that regard.
In addition to our common aspiration for promoting growth and improving the welfare and material conditions of our people, Nigeria and India have a shared interest in successfully tackling the challenges facing the global economy.
Our two great founding fathers, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, must be happy and proud that the legacies and the seed that they sowed have continued to grow and to blossom.
And with the pandemic behind us, both countries must look to vigorously make up for opportunities lost during the last 2 years.
In fact, Kano has the highest number of tenorists in West Africa.
We have introduced the Pioneer Status Incentive, which gives a tax break to startup businesses across multiple sectors, including agriculture, e-commerce, transportation, and business process outsourcing.
Figures from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NMPC Limited, show that 6 international oil companies are expected to remit 442.37 billion naira in August 2022 as proceeds from the sale of domestic crude oil in May 2022. NMPC explained that the 422.37 billion naira was for 8.887 million barrels of oil for May 2022. Domestic crude paid payable in August 2022, adding that the 6 companies were joint venture partners of the National Oil Company. It outlined the companies to include Chevron Nigeria Limited, Mobile Production Nigeria, and Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, the flagship upstream subsidiary of NNPC. Others include Total Exploration and Production Nigeria, First Exploration and Production, as well as Adax Petroleum. Meanwhile, oil prices edged up on Tuesday after Saudi Arabia warned that OPEC could cut output to correct a recent drop in oil futures. Brent crude futures rose 32 cents to $96.80 a barrel after a choppy session on Monday, when they dropped by more than $4 before pairing losses to trade near flat. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 37 cents to $90.73 a barrel. The benchmarks are down about 12% and 8% this month. Reports say the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, stands ready to reduce production to correct the recent oil price fall, driven by poor futures market liquidity and macroeconomic fears, which has ignored extremely tight physical crude supply, OPEC's leader Saudi Arabia said on Monday. How are other commodities on the global commodities market? Let's find out. Okay. Last week, reports said a 3 million barrel capacity supertanker was alleged to be loaded with millions of barrels of stolen crude oil from Nigeria to Equatorial Guinea and was arrested. The chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, a few days later in a press briefing said there was no piracy attack on Nigeria waters in the last 1 year, affirming that the vessel had not commenced loading at the said oil field before the Navy ship Gongola accosted it for interrogation and ordered it to Bonny anchorage. Meanwhile, the NNPC has revealed that Nigeria has lost $1.5 billion so far in 2022 because pipeline vandalism has escalated and the country is losing 95% of oil production to oil thieves at Bonny Terminal in Rivers State. Questions asked include what actually happened on Nigeria's waters? Do we have enough facilities to curb stolen crude oil? What can be done to avoid this illegal operation? These are some of the questions our guests will be providing answers to. He is Comrade Moulade Sharif, National Coordinator, Center for Peace and Environmental Justice. Mr. Moulade Sharif, how is Warri this morning?
Warri is fine. Good morning. And how is Abuja?
Abuja is good. Well, although it is said not to be true, is it excusable to have a vessel as huge as the one that gained entrance into the Nigeria's into Nigeria's waters on notice?
Well, it is not possible because the Nigerian territorial water is protected, secured by the Nigerian security agents, especially the Navy. And it is their primary responsibility to protect the territorial water. So it will not be possible for a huge vessel to move into the territorial water without the knowledge of the Nigerian security agent.
Okay. So can you paint a picture for us? What kind of losses accrued to the country through oil theft?
oil thefts in the Niger Delta, it has to do with compromise without highly placed personalities or persons that are involved in illegal bunkering activities. Oil thefts can never take place. There are different categories of oil theft or illegal bunkering. We have the international oil bunkering activities that is taking place in the Niger Delta. We equally have the national bunkering activities and the local bunkers. The local bunkers are the ones you see around the communities who are tools to enable the national bunkers succeed in carrying out their bunkering activities. And the national bunkers has the link with the international bunkers. And that is why you see that bunkering activities across the Niger Delta has become a lucrative business. And it is very difficult for anybody to stop except the government.
So how much are we talking about? How much are we losing? How much is Nigeria losing?
Yes, with the figure out there, we are losing millions of barrels on daily basis. Even in some locations or in some omen, we can hear the operators raising alarm, losing over 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 barrels daily. So by the time, that is just an omen. So if you multiply that across the various omens we have, in a month, you will agree with me that Nigeria is losing millions of barrels.
Okay, agreed. NMPC Limited had earlier on launched an application platform to monitor crude oil theft in the country. What do you make of that? And could it be that the recent arrest is linked to the app?
Well, it may be linked to the app, and that is also show that we are making progress. The NMPC is making progress because of the current leadership that is determined to end illegal bunkering in those areas. There are two concerns for those of us who have passion for the environment.
Okay.
As a country, as a nation, we are looking at the proceeds, the benefits from the crude oil to the national treasury. And some of us as local people from the host communities, we are concerned with the environment. And so our advocacy is to sensitize and educate even the locals that what we are doing or permitting or allowing people to carry out bunkering activities in your environment is destroying, bastardizing your ecosystem. So on that note, the people, the communities need to be more educated, need to be more sensitized so that they will be aware of the dangers.
Okay, now before I let you go, members of the House of Representatives have demanded an immediate investigation into the vessel and the issue of oil theft in the country. What do you suggest?
If the move is a good development, it's a welcome one. But if the ask is sincere, because it is not enough to set up a committee to investigate. The motive of that committee should be open, should be transparent, should be known, so that it does not have internal motive.
Okay.
To see how they can also have their own share from this proceed. Because most times we have been able to see that whenever there are committees or whenever there are issues to nip oil theft activities, people jottle to be member of the committee, people walked across, people reach out to the IOCs, people reach out to the various authorities, relevant authorities, to see how they can get their own share. But if this committee is serious, is sincere, is honest, I believe the committee will come out with a reasonable result environment and end oil theft.
Okay, thank you very much, Comrade Molade Sharif, National Coordinator, Center for Peace and Environmental Justice. Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Next is our Surviving COVID-19 series as put together by Bossede Abel.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Well, I'm into printing press, screen printing, customize many things here. This is my 15 years experience. During COVID, well, it wasn't easy, my sister. Things was just very, very hard. You know, most of us like do handwork. There was no opportunity for us to do handwork or reach to our customer or something like that. Even if we have the opportunity to reach customer, the whole market was shut down. Do you understand now? So we are all indoor. That's how it was during COVID. Do you understand? So we just thank God that we can come out and see daily bread and go home. Do you understand? So business was no more as usual again. Things was very somehow. We can't even. In fact, if not that this election that is coming up, that we're expecting things. Do you understand? If not, after then, everything was just hard. I learned how to save money. I learned how to save food. In fact, I buy food in bulk this time around in case because nobody knows what will happen again. Yes, I heard about it. Even the people where we apply said they even collected some of our money self and tell us CBN they will call us, all this kind of thing for interview. We've been expecting them up to now. We do not see anybody again. When I was applying for the loan, so there are some mentions that we need that will make our work very fast and very beautiful, just like it will be more than Oyibo own self. Do you understand? So we need those machines that can help us do work faster and beautiful. If you see it, we won't even believe it's from Nigeria or something like that. So if you want to assist them, we'll have some samples here. We can present to you. You see them.
Surviving COVID-19 series is brought to you in partnership with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Nigerian Ports Authority has generated a total revenue of 172.2 billion naira from its operations in the first half of 2022. The authority in the same period remitted 78.4 billion naira to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. These disclosures were contained in a half-year 2022 operational reports released by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the authority, Mohammed Bello Koko. Koko said that in the face of global economic and inflation crisis, among other negative factors, the half-year operational statistics were encouraging, adding that they had boasted impressive remittances to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government. It was a negative start on the equities market as the NGX or share index depreciated by 49,344.67 basis points on Monday, shedding approximately 14 billion naira in market capitalization. The market capitalization dropped to 26.614 trillion naira, 122.7 billion shares exchanged hands by investors in 3,915 deals valued at 1.301 billion naira. Mutual Benefits Insurance, Transcorp and Guarantee Trust Company led activities on the floor of the exchange. Now, this is where we end this episode of the program. Business Express will return tomorrow at 3 p.m. Don't forget you can access all previous episodes on YouTube. I am Musa Abubakar.